In 2005, Lonnie Issam moved his business Competition Distributing from Houston to Sturgis. It's been a great success, manufacturing parts for motorcycle restorations. But that's not why Lonnie is being honored tonight. Rather, he is Volunteer of the Year because of the way he's put his expertise, time, and own dollars to work to advance his adopted hometown. He played a lead role in Future Sturgis, spearheaded construction of the Sturgis welcome signs, and he puts his first-hand business knowledge to work to mentor startups. 5 local businesses are thriving as a result. In 2010, Lonnie was elected to the Sturgis Economic Development Corp Board, where he serves on the executive and property committees, is active in the annual SHOT Show Expo, and often hosts out-of-town prospects.
We have an industrial park, and we've been developing it for a few years now. It's really nice. It's got a beautiful view. It's got everything. And all the companies out there kind of work together as a family of companies. The work ethic here is good. People were taught to work and give you a good day's work.
Sturgis Economic Development Corp submitted Lonnie's nomination. Congratulations, Lonnie Issam, 2012 Black Hills Community Economic Development Volunteer of the Year. What do you get when you combine over 1,500 bolts of fabric, high energy, commitment to running a business as a family, and a building with room to expand? You get the 2012 Black Hills Community Economic Development Small Business of the Year Award. Nuts and Bolts Fabric Shop of Edgemont took root in 2005, quickly outgrew its original building, then obtained a West River Foundation loan. Today, there are 2 full-time and 3 part-time employees. In addition to all that fabric, there are sewing machines, handmade gifts, books and book binding, and sewing and quilting classes. Regular customers come from South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado, and many Black Hills vacationers stop in too.
We have a website, and we generate quite a bit of business there because people from Canada, the east and west coast, we've shipped quite a few orders to Europe, and even like the ones from down south in the east and west, I say, you know, you've got to have lots of fabric stores there, but they say it's like at least an hour, and then spacing is at a premium, so they're usually very small shops, and they don't have the amount and the different kind of fabrics that they find on the internet here.
Thanks, Edgemont Area Chamber of Commerce, for nominating this family-owned enterprise. And congratulations owners Jerry and Erlene Kellogg and Natalie Stallcup and all the employees of Nuts and Bolts Fabric Shop, our 2012 Small Business of the Year. Willie Welchel altered the face of development at I-90 Exit 30 Sturgis. He was a career law enforcement officer with little money to invest, but he put the tools of entrepreneurship to work: patience, perseverance, and single-minded purpose. His efforts resulted in a strip mall in 2003, another in 2005, and an 84-room Holiday Inn Express in 2008, with a convention center and 19,000 square feet of retail space. All totaled, that's a $10 million 5.5-acre development employing up to 70 people. Willie does business as BC Properties, LLC, and is Black Hills Community Economic Development's 2012 Entrepreneur of the Year.
One of the most advertised exits in the state of South Dakota is Exit 30. And now we've become a destination because of the various businesses that are in the strip malls, which also impacts the hotel. The hotel impacts their business because the hotel business has been good. We believe we're going to have a tremendous year this year. And of course, they go to the local restaurants here, and not just the ones in our strip malls. They go to the other ones that are located around here also.
Thanks to Sturgis Economic Development Corp for this nomination, and congratulations to Willie Welchel and BC Properties. RPM and Associates Incorporated turns 30 years old this year. And tonight, this Rapid City company is Black Hills Community Economic Development's 2012 Manufacturer of the Year. Power plants, mines, chemical processing plants, and many other clients turn to RPM for systems that will reduce wear and tear on machinery. RPM responds with innovative, customized solutions, including highly creative machining and materials selection.
These folks here that are working here are not the best in Rapid City. They're not the best in the state. They're not the best in America. They're the best in the world at what they do. And we can cite example after example after example of customers in the U.S. and outside the U.S. that we solve problems for on a daily basis that we're not supposed to be preferred vendors. They're supposed to do low bid, but they get variances so they can use RPM's products and services because it's the best value for them. And so, and that comes from what a wonderful place to live. You can think well, you can play well, you live well, and the School of Mines is an absolute terrific place to learn, and we harvest their engineers.
RPM was founded by Rob and Deb Mudge, and Rob's parents, Jim and Phyllis Mudge. The Rapid City Economic Development Partnership nominated this exceptional company. Congratulations, RPM and Associates, 2012 Manufacturer of the Year.
The Black Hills Community Economic Development Award is this organization's highest honor, presented to an individual or institution who's made a lasting mark across all western South Dakota. The award isn't necessarily presented annually, but only when the board of directors feels it is merited. In 2012, the board selected Jim Meyerhouse for this honor. He's the founding CEO of the Black Hills Business Development Center. Located on the School of Mines and Technology campus, the center serves as an incubator for high-tech, innovative startups that create South Dakota jobs.
Well, there's probably nobody that knows more about finance, more about banking, and more about business than Jim Meyerhouse. It's just that simple. That he's great at recruiting. He's a stickler for detail, so he's able to have things nailed down. He was not in a hurry to fill the building. They were very selective on which companies they wanted and coming in, whereas most people running that would have probably just jumped and allowed anybody to come in. But Jim would not allow that.
Jim grew up in the shadow of the Rocky Mountains in rural Montana. It was an environment full of characters, horses, and natural splendor, rich in imagery, but not in money.
We didn't have any money, so everything that I ever thought of doing, I had to figure out how to get the thing financed. But, you know, that all worked out really to my best interest, I think.
Jim pushed himself hard to become an Eagle Scout, and as a young rodeo cowboy, he competed in one of the first national high school rodeo finals. Then, in almost no time, he went from riding horses to flying these in the U.S. Air Force. As a flight leader in combat over North Vietnam, Jim learned vital life lessons.
Discipline in an air war is absolutely vital. Vital for your own survival, but for everybody around you.
He flew a remarkable 123 combat missions, coming to understand war in ways most of our society doesn't grasp.
It's real bullets, and everyone is meant to kill you. So people, you know, that I don't think a lot of times really get the flavor of what real war is. You know, we've gotten too video game conscious.
After the war, Jim remained in the Air Force, eventually serving 23 years, including a stint at the Pentagon. Then it was time to come home to Montana, where he soon entered a new career, banking.
If you start poking around and everything goes on, because I wanted to know all about banking. I wanted to know how checks were cleared, how this was done, that was done, whatever. Well, immediately you become a threat to everybody around you. So you kind of have to quietly volunteer, quietly follow people around, and then pretty soon you've got all the keys. And after that, it's piece of cake.
Jim's career with U.S. Bank took him to locations in Montana, Minnesota, and South Dakota. He rose quickly.
Probably 4 years after I joined the banking, I was a president of a bank. But I contributed to the Air Force career.
He became president of the South Dakota Bankers Association. After retiring from U.S. Bank, he was named regional manager of South Dakota's Small Business Development Center, serving western South Dakota. Today, that service is based in the Black Hills Business Development Center. He's close at hand to advise SBDC clients and staff. Jim's earned a reputation for absolute honesty.
I had a client tell me, she called me, she was looking for an investor, and I said, well, contact Jim Meyerhouse. He would be the person to talk to. And I said, just beware. You may not like what he has to say, but listen. She called me back about 2 days later and said, you were absolutely correct. She said, he was brutally honest, but I do appreciate that. So.
As the product of a rural region, Jim cares about South Dakota's small towns, and he demands the same thing from them as he does from Black Hills Business Development Center startup companies: innovation.
We're going to have to get over, we're mad at Walmart. That doesn't happen. Walmart's here. Walmart's going to be here, and if you can't compete with them, then you don't have to compete with them. What you do is you do things that they don't do. And I think that's the salvation to our small town.
We are really thankful for what he has done for our organization.
I'm truly appreciative of this award. Not from the award itself or another plaque. God only knows I have enough. But the point is, this is something I've really spent a lot of time and energy on. And it's not as much for me as it is for others that are trying to bend their energy to do the same kinds of things.
So I can think of no one that's more deserving than Jim to receive this award. So congratulations, Jim.
Not all done yet, but probably getting close. But other people need to step up, and that's probably my next goal, is to try to get more people involved to take this the next step, because there's plenty to do.
Thank you, Jim Meyerhouse, for your service to your country, your professionalism and integrity, and for insisting on innovation and excellence in business.
Tonight, the South Dakota District Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration is with us to present SBA Awards. The SBA doesn't make loans, but rather works with lending institutions and certified development companies to make business financing possible. Tonight, the SBA thanks 3 lending institutions and presents them with Leadership Circle Awards. Joining the top tier of lenders who made 10 or more SBA loans last fiscal year are Black Hills Federal Credit Union, First Interstate Bank, Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. Winning the Asset Builder Award for #1 dollar volume is Black Hills Community Economic Development. This certified development company made 13 SBA 504 loans last fiscal year, totaling over $14 million. That's a state record. Congratulations, Fran White and Black Hills Community Economic Development.
Congratulations to 2 West River winners of Governor's Office of Economic Development Awards. The awards were presented in Sioux Falls in April. Lemon was named the state's Small Community of the Year. In his presentation, Governor Dennis Dugard noted Lemon took development into its own hands and experienced growth after years of decline. Lemon initiated an online marketing campaign with a video involving residents, business people, and other volunteers. Results were immediate. Norma Allen won an Excellence in Economic Development Award presented in memory of the late Governor George Mickelson and 7 others who died during a 1993 economic development trip. In 1985, Norma and her late husband Don moved their firearms company to Sturgis from Minnesota. That was the start of South Dakota's largest firearm manufacturing cluster. Ever since, Norma has worked successfully to attract new firearm companies to the state. Congratulations, Norma, and the community of Lemon from Black Hills Community Economic Development.